And we're back on Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. We're speaking with Heather Taylor today, and Heather is going to attempt a 2,100 nautical mile row. And if you want that in kilometers, it's 3,890 kilometers. And you're going to start in April of 2020. And how long do you figure it's going to take you to get there?
Probably 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. So about 90 days.
You're going to have to tell us what your boat looks like, because I don't think it's the little open boat that you see in the Olympics.
No, it's not. So the boat itself is 24 feet long, and it's 2 meters wide, so 6 and a bit feet wide. And it's got one cabin on one end and then a little storage cabin on the other end. So basically if you took 2 cars together and stuck them end to end, then that's about the size of the boat that you were looking at. And
you're going to spend 60 to 90 days.
Yes, in the wee boat.
In that wee boat?
Yeah.
Tossing about on the ocean?
Yes.
Is there someone traveling with you in terms of a security boat, a backup boat, a lifeboat?
No, there isn't actually.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's just me in the boat. And I'll have a radio and a sat phone.
That's what I was going to say. What's your mode of communication?
Yes, so yeah, the two. I'll have a couple of sat phones, one for backup. So you need backup for everything. And then I'll have a VHF radio.
All right. And so you've learned to use all this equipment?
I've learned to use the VHF radio. I'm assuming the satellite phone is similar to a regular phone. Obviously, there's going to be differences, but I don't think the learning uptake of the sat phone is going to be
that
as much.
Big of a deal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you don't really need a different outfit for every day. That's for sure. But you are going to need some clothes to be warm and dry, because as much as it's going to be hot and sunny, you will also have cold, damp days where there's going to be maybe a little bit of rain or a bit of a wind that's making you chilly. Mm-hmm. And you don't have very much space.
No. So in terms of clothes, you might have, I'm guessing here, I haven't got to the point of planning out how many t-shirts I'm going to take. I'll probably have maybe 5 days worth of clothing and then wash it. And then I will need all weather gear. So I'll have a dry suit. Like a proper dry suit, and then also wet weather gear as well.
Okay.
So raincoat, rain pants style thing. And then, long johns, fleeces and stuff.
So how much space do you have in your little cabin? You got a spot to just have a bed?
Yes. Yeah. So there is a bed. So the boat that I'm bought has space for 2 people, so I could actually take another rower on it. So for one person, I'll have quite a bit of storage space relative to what it could be, and I'll have to carry all my food on it as well. So I'll take all my food. There is a water maker on board, so I'll be desalinating the water, and that's how I'll be getting my fresh water.
Wow! And how does that work? It's like a filter system of some sort?
It's kind of a reverse osmosis style approach. You would have the giant desalination plants, but on a very tiny scale. So it removes the salt and other minerals from the water.
But doesn't that need batteries?
It does, yep. So I'll have solar panels on the boat. So there's 2 solar panels, one on the front, one on the back, and that's my power source.
And it'll power a couple of batteries.
And then the radio system as well as the navigation will run off of those batteries.
Okay. This sounds really technical, but it's making sense to me. I'm getting a visual on how it's all going to look.
So basically imagine everything you'd have on a sailboat, take off the motor and the sails, and it's a similar setup. So you'd have all the gear that you would have on an ocean-going small yacht.
Do you have a little backup motor in case you run into problems?
No.
Just
too heavy.
Just oars.
You have to row the motor across the water. It'd be a lot of weight.
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you sleep when I've been on the water before on a windy day? You take 4 strokes, you scratch your nose, and darn, the wind's blowing you back the 4 strokes that you took. So how can you go to sleep at night when the wind might push you back to where you started from yesterday morning?
Yeah. So you put out a parasail anchor, which is basically a giant parachute, and you stick it in the water, and that prevents you from moving. Obviously, you're going to move some, but you'd be moving more with the current than the winds. And then also would spin the boat around so that your bow is pointing into the waves, so that the waves are breaking perpendicular to you.
Right, instead of sideways.
Yeah.
Just like anything I've ever paddled, you need to be going into the waves, not sideways to them.
Yeah.
Although on the paddleboard, it's kind of fun to rock them sideways just for fun. What are you going to do about boredom, or do you think that'll be an issue? You'll be too busy surviving?
I reckon I'll probably get bored while rowing. I'll have music and audiobooks, podcasts,
I'll give you a bunch of Freshwaves podcasts
thank
to
you.
take with you. That'd be really fun.
That'd be great. So I don't know. I'll just have to deal with it, I guess. It's one of those things that you don't know how long it'll take you to get really, really bored.
Yeah, because when you're training, you'd probably be...
When you're training, you get bored anyway. So when you're trying to row on a rowing machine for 2 hours, you're...
And for no particular reason.
No
It's
particular
not like
reason.
you're going somewhere.
No. Yeah, so I think that's why I've always... Anyone who rows does not enjoy the rowing machine. And if you've never rowed and you just thought rowing is a rowing machine, you have a very distorted view of what rowing is. So when you're on the water, rowing for 2 hours, I don't know, I don't seem to get bored out on the water. And there's not really many options. You could listen to music. I don't know many people who do because you're risking your little music machine getting wet. Now they have waterproof ones, it's not as big of a deal. But most people wouldn't have anything while they're on the water. So I'm hoping that the gentle rock of the boat and the waves would just keep you going, and then having music and podcasts as you go. And then there's quite a bit you have to do. So there's not going to be a lot of downtime, and if there is, I'm going to be sleeping. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how bored I'll get.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I will get bored. I've been told I will. And other crews have definitely got bored. But I don't know how I'll combat it until I finish.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you'll just dance like a crazy person.
Exactly. And there'll be no one to see
get your sillies out and then continue rowing again.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is too, when you're training in these places, usually you have some sort of focal point. I'm going to go over there, and you can see the over there. And when you're going
so that's probably
2,100 nautical miles, you probably won't have a
marker. Yeah, I think that'll be the biggest difference. Is the only thing that's going to show you've made any progress is a tiny dot on a computer screen showing your coordinates have changed.
Yes.
And I'll have a plot map as well, so I can slowly, mark little X's on the map as I go. But apart from that, you won't have any difference in view.
Okay. Is there a chance that the currents will help push you towards your destination?
Yes. Yeah. So once you drop down from Monterey, so you head out in Monterey probably more in a southwest direction. Mm-hmm. So almost perpendicular to the wind, trying to minimize the wind direct pressure on you. And then once you get a bit farther south, you pick up the trade winds, and with it the general wide ocean current heading towards Hawaii.
And that will take you most of the way across?
Yes, yeah. It should get you across, and then you kind of end up in Hawaii as you go. Obviously, the particular spot of the current, but, the general wide ocean current is what you'd be in.
Right. And now what are you going to do about ships passing in the night? Honk, honk. I mean, that's not really funny, but you know what I mean?
No, that's the scary part. It's actually one of the biggest dangers is a container ship. I'll have a radar. So, and then the boat has I guess it enlarges your signal, so it makes you look a bit bigger than you might be. Radar signal. So it's AI.
So they would see you somehow.
They would see
you. Would show up
you
on
have
their
a radar
radar
reflector.
Blip, and they would go, oh, it's a bird that's in our path. Oh,
yes.
no.
It's a boat. Yeah. So I'll have an alarm set, so I can, if something comes within 10 Ks of the boat, it should alert me to the fact that there's a ship approaching.
Okay. What about whales and things like that, large animals with fins?
You get to meet them when they come.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to track them or deter them or steer around them. You're at their mercy.
Yeah. And I know that in the past they've said that whales don't really kill people so much as if your boat's just in the way and they go under and the water gets sucked in, and you could sometimes get sucked in. So just don't get too close.
Yes. Well, yeah, there's not much you can do though.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there won't be any birds either, will there? Not in the middle part.
No, not in the middle part, I don't think. And if there is, that means it caught a ride and it didn't leave.
Right.
Which means I'd either have to push it off or feed it.
Yes, that would be interesting.
Yes,
You'll have your own Wilson with wings.
Yes, yes.
Are you taking along something that's like your friend and companion? Not a hamster or anything, I know.
No, I think we'll have to see how it goes. See, Wilson wasn't planned, and that's the beauty of Wilson and Castaway. So I don't think you can plan it unless, So if a Wilson-like person comes along, then he'll come. She will come, but I won't plan to have one.
You won't have one on board. You're not taking your favorite stuffed toy with you.
No, because
space is a huge option, isn't it?
It is a huge option, but then also if you take anything with you, you got to be. It's either can't get wrecked by water or salt, or you just have to be willing to
Let it go.
Not to be good by the end.
All right, so what are you going to eat? I'm sure everyone's wondering, what in the heck is she going to eat? Because you don't have much storage space.
No, so most of it will be dehydrated food.
Perfect.
Yeah, so they're camping food that you can get in stores that are in the little packets where you open them, add hot water, and it rehydrates itself.
Don't buy the ice cream. It doesn't really work. Just saying.
I think it'd be very tasty because I'm not going to have any
good.
cold water either. So it'll all just be hot or like lukewarm. Even my drinking water will be lukewarm. Because the ocean at that point is about 25 degrees.
Wow.
Because you're getting into the tropics. So it's a lot warmer. So you're not going to have that cold lake or even cold ocean feel. It'll just be a good thing. Which is a good thing, yeah.
It's probably one of the reasons why you don't leave from Canada, because you know what's the average temperature of the water out there? 12?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I tried to leave from Vancouver, but the wind is just in the wrong direction. That it's already going to be quite a struggle to leave from Vancouver or Vancouver Island.
And would the currents also be not so?
The currents probably wouldn't be like small currents would be there, but I do know people who've left from Washington State, northern.
Right.
So it can be done. It's just whether or not to something that's really going to be quite difficult.
Why
this is the
add
discussion
the extra?
Yeah, with the guy who's going to be supporting me from land. He's like, why add that extra bit when a lot of people have tried and still haven't made it?
Right.
Why make it extra hard?
Right.
Just to have left from Canadian soil.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have left from Canadian soil. You got Canada, Australia, Monterey. It's a nice triangle. Okay, so you're going to be eating a lot of dehydrated food. But that's okay, because lots of it, when you're really hungry, anything will taste good.
Yeah. So I'm a fairly easy to please person with food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll eat stale crackers, and they're not amazing, but they're still good.
They'll work. And do you have the option of having some sort of a rescue plan in place?
Yes. So I'll have someone who's on land supporting me. So he actually has a business supporting ocean rowers. So he'll call you every day, check in how things are going. Chris Martin, his business is New Ocean Wave. And so he would ring every day, give me, check in how things are going. If something's breaking, we can troubleshoot through that.
How's the MacGyver way of fixing it?
Yeah. Trying to figure all that stuff. So I need to know how everything works, how to take it apart.
Are you taking duct tape?
Yes.
Lots and lots and lots of duct tape?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I swear by the stuff, honestly.
Yeah. It can make anything work.
It does.
Yeah.
You know what you can even do for blisters on hands? You put the duct tape on, and when you're...
Then you don't want to take it off.
But it does. It works for blisters. Yeah. Just saying. You can use duct tape for anything.
Yeah. So I'll have a big supply of duct tape. As much as will fit. We'll have to balance out food for duct tape. And then... So if there is an issue, I can get help. And then if it reaches the point of I need to be rescued, then he would coordinate. And the maritime community, I've been told at least, is quite good. So if you hear a distress call, you have to respond to it. You're obliged by maritime law to...
It's not like, it's just her.
Yeah. So
forget it.
Yeah, there's much more of an obligation to come and rescue people.
Okay. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we'll finish our discussion with Heather. This is fascinating stuff. If you've missed any part of the broadcast, then you can always listen to the podcast. Hey, that rhymes. I should write that one down. Anyway, we'll have this on our podcast at freshwaves.ca by Thursday evening. And you can listen again on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock on Whistle FM. We're going to have a little break. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Stay tuned.
We're taking strides to make a difference, to show we care. Strides for Change.
In communities across this country, Mad Canada hosts Strides for Change, an annual 5K walkathon and wheelchair event. Help raise awareness to stop impaired driving and raise funds to support the victims of this violent crime. So join the fun. Together, we can make a change.
We're taking strides to make a difference. Strides for Change.
Visit stridesforchange.ca.
Hey, did you see that post online about Julie?
I totally wrote it. Wasn't it hilarious?
Is all of that true?
Who cares? She's done anyways.
Are you talking about that post about Julie?
Yeah, funny, right?
No, but that post about you was.
What post?
Oh, you didn't hear? You're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, and oh yeah, you smell too. The whole school saw it, no big deal.
That's so mean. Did they really write that about me?
No, but how does it feel?
Sometimes you can feel all alone when being bullied. That's when you can really use a friend. If you see someone you know being bullied online, let them know they're not alone. Stand up now, support a friend, save a life. For more information on cyberbullying, visit stopthemean.wordpress.com or call our hotline at 1-800-555-STOP.
We're back, Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson, and we're in the studio this morning with Heather Taylor. Heather, after you decided that you were going to do this adventure, I'm going to call it an adventure, because it is an adventure, and the reality set in. I know you said you had your partner that backed out, but you still decided that you're going to go. Have you had those moments of wondering if you really are sane or not, if this really is a good idea or not, or are you just 100% on board?
I don't know if it's a sanity thing, but definitely stop and think, what are you doing? Yes, no, I have those. I still have those moments now. I think I'll have them until you get in the boat, and even then they'll be even much stronger as to whether or not, what are you doing? Yeah, I think that's definitely come up. I think one of the harder things is actually the advertising part of it, the self-promotion that's required to do it. I'm finding that to be the hardest part because I need to get sponsorship. So going out there and being like, "Ooh, sponsor me," I find that to be the hardest bit. I think if I could just get in my boat and go, I'd be fine. Obviously, you had the scary parts and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, what's it going to be like when you're in the little cabin in a storm?"
Or when there's a shark circling your boat looking for something to eat.
Yeah, well, as long as you stay in, it's probably not going to jump and get you. Yeah, but it's actually the other parts of it, I think, that I found the harder part, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. We'll compare them once I've done the big giant storm and see which one was actually worse. But
you could actually do 90 days and not have any storm at all.
It's possible, yeah.
And I'm sure those are the lucky people that have done it effortlessly or seemingly effortlessly.
Yeah.
Is that they haven't had any big storm. But inevitably you're going to end up with a little bit of rain, but rain doesn't necessarily mean a storm.
No, not necessarily. So at this time of, or that time of year, thunderstorms would probably be the big issue. And then when you're in the tropic area, you're going to end up with long, like hundreds of kilometers of low pressure systems. And then you can get the thunderstorms coming with them. So,
and you'll see that coming on your radar?
No, so I don't have a weather radar. That's just a ship radar. So I'll get weather reports from shore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then learn to read the clouds.
Which will be fun because you'll be out there with nothing to do anyway except row.
Yeah, so I'll have lots of time to stare at the sky.
And sunscreen. Have you got sunscreen that you're going to be using?
Well, someone actually came up to me at the Strawberry Festival and said they had a friend who has a sunscreen business. So we'll see if they come back and are interested in sponsoring and giving me some sunscreen. But I will have to take sun coverage because there's no sunshade that I'll have because that could be considered to be a sail. That would push you
really?
along. Yeah. So if you want to have a world to be eligible to get a record, you can't have anything that would be a sail. So I know even people hanging up their clothes for drying, there's been debate over whether or not that's acting as a sail, and they should be disqualified. Mm-hmm. So there is.
How would you dry your clothes if you didn't get to hang them up to dry?
Well, whether they're hanging from a post versus like laying on top of the cabin, I think it's whether or not someone catches you with your clothes hanging in a way that they're perfectly done, so they could be a sail. Okay.
But I could see doing that if you got into a really bad situation.
Oh, at that point, when you're getting life and death, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter. No. Okay. So we did have a question from our friend James here who asked, what do you do about a bathroom?
Well, all well conditions, the side of the boat is your bathroom. Uh-huh. So there is something called a shiwi, which it's something that they invented for women who go sailing, which helps stand and pee. And then off the side of the boat for number 2. And then if you're stuck inside the cabin in a storm for hours on end, I have yet to find out which one is the best one, but there are apparently urine capture systems.
Yes.
So similar to the space ones or else other sailing ones. So
well, pilots use them.
Yes.
The female urinary adapter retractor thing, whatever it's called.
Okay, well, that's the one I'll have to get.
Yeah, they use them when they're single-engine planes flying all over the place. It's kind of a common thing. So, yeah, it's funny to cross-reference different sports and different activities that use equipment that you could use.
Yeah.
I'm a Nordic pole walking instructor, and every time people get cold hands, I always tell them to buy the same gloves that you would use for biking. Because there's great equipment made for bicycling and you know Tour de France and all these long crazy bike rides. So they allow you to grip something like maybe even oars, but they have windshield on the outside. So that's what you really need. You can't wear a big downfilled mitten that you would wear to go downhill skiing with because your poles don't fit with it and you don't have a good grip. But the biking ones you do. So use different equipment from different sports that have the same kind of needs that you have, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So apparently golf gloves are really good for the ocean rowing.
Yeah.
So that's what one of the, I guess the queen of the ocean would be Ross Savage. So she was one of the first women to row across all of oceans, and her glove of choice is a golf glove.
That would make sense. Mm-hmm. I have some kayaking gloves because I end up getting sore hands from kayaking. And I have a pair of gloves that I bought that are sort of biking waterproof ones, but they're really not good. So I'm going to try the golf gloves then, see if that works. Why not? Hey, good ideas, right? It seems like a trivial thing, but if you've got a big trip planned and you're rowing any vehicle or paddling anything and your hands are sore, it's not a good thing.
No.
If you want to get back home anyway, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And for you've got a real destination in mind. Like you really can't goof off for a few days, can you?
No, I think you could if you get ill or something. You could rest up for a bit, but once you start, you gotta keep going or turn around. So. Yeah.
Are you going to try out some of these dehydrated foods before you go so you can figure out which ones you like?
Yes. So I'm trying to. There's 2 Canadian companies who make them, and I'd love to get them on board as sponsors. So I'm trying to get as much Canadian goods as I can because I feel like if you're going to do this and be the first Canadian to do it, you gotta go with country.
The beef stew is pretty good.
Okay, I haven't come across beef stew, so I've got a pad thai to try, and then it's by Happy Yak, and then an Irish stew, but it's no everything, so it's vegan, non-dairy, whatever it is. So that one will be intriguing to try because as much as it's an Irish, what is it?
Irish stew.
No, shepherd's pie. Sorry.
Okay.
Vegetarian
shepherd's pie. Yeah, that's doable.
So I'm not sure what's in it.
Well, yeah, Beyond Meat probably, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds interesting. And I was really, really hungry once. We miscalculated a hike that I was on and ended up having to virtually run the last 5K in the dark. To get to where we were going. Really bad planning. One of those live and learn situations. But the food that night was dehydrated mac and cheese. And you know what? It wasn't half bad. Then again, anything would have been good at the end of that day.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's not really a good indicator. But I remember it was one of my favorite meals of all time because I was so cold and so tired. But like I said, almost anything would have tasted good. But the mac and cheese wasn't bad.
Yes, I think the pasta, you can't really go wrong with it usually.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I just wonder, though, are you going to put yourself through the torture of trying it before you go? Or just leave it up to the fact that you're going to be really
try
hungry?
it because the worst thing would be to get out there and then you've got like 20 meals of something you despise and makes you feel sick. And
you wouldn't want that.
Yeah. So try it before you go.
Are you vegan or vegetarian now anyway? So, yeah.
I probably eat mostly vegetarian, but I try to eat meat to get iron. But apart from that, I don't need meat apart from maybe nutritional reasons.
Yeah, but
you can get away
protein is
with
good
it.
for you when you're out there because you really would need some protein. Interesting. Well, good luck with everything you do. If anyone wants to sponsor you and we get some messages, we will definitely pass them along. So listeners out there, if you feel like you want to be a part of this and you would love to get some more information, just drop us a line on our Facebook page. Jay, how do people get a hold of us?
Yeah, you can join our Facebook page, Freshwaves on Whistle FM. We're also on Twitter at Freshwaves Radio.
And you can send me a message too at bren@freshwaves.ca. Send me an email and we'll pass it all on to Heather so that she can put this trip together. Will you keep us abreast of your plans and how it's going? Because we would really, really love to hear about it.
Absolutely. So we have a website. So it's the team is Pacific Giants Row. Okay. So if you go to www.pacificgiantsrow, and that's the same name on Facebook and on Instagram. That's the best way to get information. So I set up the blog this last week.
Good.
So that's going. And then we've got Facebook and Instagram updates regularly. But I'll definitely be keeping in touch.
Yes. And in April, before you leave, when it says April 2020.
Yes.
Have you got a date?
Probably the week after Easter, and then waiting for a good weather window.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get a hold of you in California and just do a quick good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun. Best of everything to you. And then you have to call us when you get back.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. Oh, this is so exciting. Anyway, I wish you all the best.
Thank you. There's one thing that I'm trying to get the town of Stouffville to do is make a big giant collective sponsorship so we can get a Stouffville logo on the boat.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to be running around town today and tomorrow dropping off letters to businesses. But if you want to check out that, go to their website, pacificgiantsrow.com, and there's a button that you can click sponsor the Stouffville logo. So that's if you want to chip in $5. If you're a business, you can chip in a bit more. And I think collectively we can get it. Because that's one of the things I think when you do this and you're after corporate sponsorship, they've got money to put their big logo on it. But I think it misses out on the little guy who's only got $5. But $5 collectively makes quite a big difference.
Sure it does. Have you talked to Mayor Lovett?
Not yet. I have yet to meet him.
Well, go and say hello to Mayor Lovett today and say Bren says hi.
All right.
Okay. Thanks so much for coming on this morning. We really appreciate your time. I know it's been a whirlwind for you getting this together. Must be just...
Yes, thank you.
Does it wake you up sometimes in the middle of the night thinking, wow, there's just so much to do?
Yes.
Because it sounds like it's a far way away, but it's really not.
It's not. It's not at all.
One last question, because I did have a listener who asked us, how are you getting the boat from Australia to California?
On a ship. Yeah.
On a ship.
Yeah. So I could row it there, but that kind of defeats the purpose of rowing it halfway back.
I would say. And then you're doing like a world circumference, which probably isn't what you want to do right now.
No. So start small. If I fall in love with it, maybe I'll leave the boat in Hawaii and then row from Hawaii back to Australia.
Now, that would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
But then that's some pretty rough water going that way.
Yeah. People have done it.
Yeah.
So it's the stopping point in Hawaii, and then you end up somewhere either in Kiribati or Tonga, and then go on to Australia or Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
Yeah. But small. California to Hawaii. See if I survive.
Yes.
And then go from there.
And then go from there. All right. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And do keep us abreast.
I will do that.
If you've been listening to Heather Taylor on Fresh Waves, I'm your host, Bren Masson. We'll be back right after this.